They say dogs always find their way home, but sometimes something else finds the way back with them. A shadow, a whisper, a hunger from beyond the veil. A cozy home filled with the warmth of family. Toys scattered across the rug, a testament to childhood joy. Family photos, smiling faces frozen in time, adorned the mantelpiece. Mia, a 10-year-old girl, laughing and playing with Buddy. Buddy scratches impatiently at the back door, his ears perked. Dad says, probably heard the neighbor's dog again. I'll let him out. The back door opens, revealing a torrent of rain and a flash of lightning. Buddy, eager and oblivious, bounds into the stormy night. Thunder rumbles, a deep, guttural sound that seems to swallow the light. An empty, rain-swept yard. The gate, left ajar, swings mournfully in the wind. Mom calls out, her voice laced with growing panic. Buddy, Buddy, wind howls, a desolate cry. The gate swings open further, a silent invitation to the unknown. They searched until sunrise, calling his name into a silence that never answered. A silence that grew heavier with each passing hour, each unanswered plea. The storm raged, mirroring the tempest in their hearts. Missing dog posters, once vibrant with hope, now fade and tear in the relentless sun and wind. Snow blankets the yard, covering the last traces of Buddy's playful paws. Mia, a year older, sits by her window, her gaze distant, holding Buddy's worn collar. Childhood innocence slowly eroding with each passing day. Weeks became months. Months bled into a year. Hope became a cold, ritualistic act. Every night, a fresh bowl of food and water was left by the back door. Just in case, a silent prayer whispered into the void. A faint, insistent scratching at the door. A sound that shouldn't be there. Mia, drawn by an inexplicable pull, opens the door. Buddy stands there. He is wet, thin, his fur matted. But it's his eyes that are wrong, reflecting oddly in the porch light, a strange, unnatural luminescence. Mia gasps, tears streaming down her face. Buddy. The family rushes out, a wave of relief and joy washing over them, embracing their lost companion. Buddy's tail wags, slowly, almost delayed, as if controlled by an unseen hand. Mom, with a tearful laugh, says, "You came home." Buddy stares past them into the warm, inviting glow of the house, as if recognizing something unseen, something that had been waiting. They thought the nightmare was over. They were wrong. The true nightmare had only just begun. Buddy eats, but not like before. His movements are stiff, mechanical. The rhythmic chewing is devoid of joy. He suddenly stops, mid-chew, his head tilting slowly towards an empty, darkened hallway. A low, guttural growl rumbles deep in his chest. Dad peers into the shadows, seeing nothing but the familiar contours of their home. Later that night, security camera footage, the grainy, black and white image, shows Buddy sitting perfectly still, facing the wall, unmoving. For hours, his eyes, even in the low resolution, seem to glow faintly. Mia sleeps, a peaceful innocence on her face. Soft, insidious whispering begins, seemingly from the very air around her. She stirs, her eyes fluttering open. Buddy sits at the foot of her bed, staring, his unblinking gaze fixed on her. Mia, sleepy and confused, asks, "Buddy." The whispering stops abruptly, as if silenced by his presence. Buddy slowly lies down, his body rigid. But his eyes never blink, never waver from Mia. Mom walks into the living room, a cup of coffee in hand. She notices muddy paw prints on the clean floor, leading directly to the basement door. But it hasn't rained in days. The basement door, usually kept shut, creaks open slightly. The basement beyond is a cavern of darkness. Buddy stands at the bottom of the stairs, staring upward, his form barely visible in the gloom. Mom, uneasy, Her voice, trembling, says, "Buddy, come here." He doesn't move. A faint, almost human sigh echoes from below, a chilling sound that seems to slither up the stairs. Kay wakes to the soft, rhythmic padding of paws in the hallway. He peeks out, seeing Buddy walking with an unnatural slowness. The dog stops at each family member's door, sniffing, lingering, as if counting. A cold dread settles in Dad's stomach. Dad calls softly, trying to keep his voice steady. "Buddy." Buddy slowly turns. His eyes shine too brightly in the dim light, an incandescent, malevolent glow. A low sound escapes his throat, not quite a growl, not quite a voice, but something far more ancient and terrifying, driven by a growing sense of unease. Dad investigates the basement. He finds dirt scattered on the concrete floor, like something dug upward from beneath, and scratch marks on the concrete, deep, too deep for any animal's paws. They look almost deliberate. Buddy watches from the deepest shadows, his eyes glinting. Sometimes the ground remembers what sleeps beneath, and sometimes what sleeps beneath remembers how to wake. The family, desperate, brings Buddy to the vet. The vet examines Buddy, his brow furrowed in confusion and concern. The vet says his heart rate, it's unusually low, almost dormant, and his body temperature, it's colder than it should be. Buddy suddenly stares at the vet, his glowing eyes piercing. Kay shivers, an involuntary reaction to the dog's unsettling gaze. Kay is quiet, his voice hushed, asks, "Have you noticed any behavioral changes? Anything out of the ordinary?" The family exchanges worried looks, their unspoken fears now given voice. The house is plunged into darkness as power flickers and dies. Mia wakes to a frantic scratching sound, louder than before, coming from downstairs. She follows the sound, her heart pounding, to the basement door. Slowly, agonizingly, creaks open. Kay. Buddy stands in the absolute darkness at the bottom of the stairs. Behind him, a faint, ragged breathing, heavy and unnatural. Mia, whispering, terrified, asks, "Buddy." He steps forward, his form silhouetted against an unseen light. For a horrifying moment, his jaw stretches unnaturally wide, dislocating with a sickening crack, then snaps back into place. Lights flicker violently throughout the house. Shadows shift and writhe, like something moving beneath his skin, struggling to break free. A voice whispers, layered, echoing, ancient, and full of malice. "Home, at last." Mia screams, a raw, primal sound of terror. Her parents rush down the stairs, flashlights cutting through the darkness. Buddy collapses. Still, the house falls into an unnatural silence, broken only by the family's ragged breaths. Morning light, pale and weak, filters into the house. Buddy lies peacefully on the living room rug, seemingly back to his old self. The vet later confirms he's normal. The family is relieved, but deeply shaken, the memory of the night etched into their souls. That night, Dad, unable to shake the feeling of dread, checks the basement again. The scratch marks on the concrete are still there, but now they form a crude, disturbing shape, like a door, a gateway. Mia sleeps, a fragile peace restored. Buddy lies beside her, a comforting presence. His eyes open slowly, no longer glowing, but holding a deep, unsettling intelligence. He looks directly at the camera. His tail thumps once, a soft, deliberate sound. A faint whisper fills the room, chilling Mia to the bone. Not just one anymore. Buddy's shadow on the wall splits briefly into two distinct, shadowy forms, then merges back into one when something returns. Ask yourself, did it come back alone? Or did it bring a piece of the darkness with it? A seed waiting to bloom. The silence that follows is the most terrifying answer of all.